Canada, can you please just stop the wind? Well, every now and again there's a story that comes across the airwaves, usually a political story, that just makes you shake your head and you wonder what the heck are politicians thinking. In this latest round of political debacle, it affects both Canadian and American politicians, as wildfires sweep right across our country and the United States as well. Let's set the record straight right off the start here. Wildfires are a terrible thing. They create so much havoc. They cost countries, municipalities, cities millions of dollars to put them out and to fight them. People put their lives on the line, on the front lines, with these forest fires. They're a very serious matter, and this video is not to make fun of the forest fires, the fighting. This is about the politicians that are commenting on it at this time. So recently, there's a number of congressmen in the U.S., northeastern states, that sent a letter to our Prime Minister, Mark Carney, saying that Canada is at fault for all the smoke that's infiltrating into their states, and their people are complaining about it. Now, constituents in a given area, this happens in Canada too, when people are upset about something, their natural inclination is to write their member of parliament, or in the U.S. case, their congressman, and complain. And what do the congressmen or the members of parliament here do when they receive enough of that feedback that it starts to become a concern? Well, they have to find blame to someone. And in this case, the U.S. has decided to bring back the old song, Blame It on Canada. And I'm not going to play the song for you because that would be A, copyright infringement, and B, Canada is not to blame. I mean, give your head a shake. Wildfires are all about, weather. I mean, in a day and age of global warming, dry lightning strikes, forest fires are a part of life in both countries. In fact, I would suggest that these same politicians that are complaining that Canadian smoke is infiltrating their states, take a quick look back, because generally speaking, when the fires are on the U.S. side of things, Canada is right there, one of the first people to come and respond and help out when those circumstances arise. So, that's the neighborly thing to do. When you have wildfires, we don't blow smoke in your direction, verbally speaking, and complain. I mean, that's not what neighbors do. We extend a helping hand. We want to make sure that both sides of the border are looked after appropriately. We care about forest fires and the damage that they can do on both sides of the border. And keep in mind, too, that all this smoke that's drifting around right now, our people here in Canada are experiencing that too. People are losing their homes because of forest fires. Businesses are losing their livelihood because of forest fires. So this is not a, here in Canada, here, let's start a forest fire and smoke out our neighbors to the south, as some people have started to claim. I mean, the whole thing has just gotten so ridiculous, it makes you want to laugh, except it really isn't a laughing matter. It's such a serious matter as it is. So anyway, I find it really interesting that this whole debacle has gotten to the point that it has. I also want to address, it's easy for us to make videos and talk about our politicians and some of the stupid things they say, or in this case, blaming another country for the weather or the way the smoke blows in across the border, as if we have any control over that. They even made some threats that they're going to blame Canada for it, but they're going to, Trump has already said he's going to tariff us for the smoke. How you tariff smoke, I'm not quite sure. Other congressmen and that have said they want to sanction Canada. They want to connect with our politicians and then the extreme threat was they said if we don't do something about it, they're going to come in and do something about it. Well, all you have to do if the smoke is that bad, and it is that bad, is come on up and help us fight them and get them out of under control. It's a pretty easy solution. You can't just come up in Ontario and expect to go in and clean up all the underbrush. I mean, Canada is very scientific in the way that they handle forestry in our country, as is the United States. So these politicians have to be really careful about what they say. But I'm getting off track here already, because I also wanted to mention that on YouTube and other platforms, social media outlets, I've seen a lot of posts from American people, residents, that are basically echoing the crazy things that some of these politicians are saying. And, like, give your head a shake. Just think about what you're saying. I know you're upset, and I know in some places it's even hard to breathe, but Canada is not to blame. It's a forest fire. The winds, by chance, have blown the smoke in a certain direction, and we don't have control over that. Nobody does. If you ever do figure out how to control the weather, how to control the wind, well, perhaps we can start by controlling some of the hot air that's coming out of Washington, D.C. and threatening Canada over and over and over again. And even now, once again, here we are, it's happening again with the threat of tariffs and whatnot. And then the bordering states wonder why Canadians are boycotting U.S. products. They wonder why we're boycotting wine and alcohol. I mean, not even on the same side of the continent, we have the governor of California that is using this opportunity to write letters to our premier of Quebec saying that you should be putting their wine back on the shelves. We have the best wine in the world. Why wouldn't you put it back on your shelf? Well, they're missing the point altogether. When you are a business and you are selling a product, whether it's worldwide or whether it's to the neighbor across the street, first of all, you can't force anyone to buy your product. You make a good product and it should survive on its own merits. Country like the United States and versus Canada, now when international politics becomes involved, it becomes even more complicated with tariffs, with different sales taxes, all kinds of different import and export duties. And when the President of the United States is threatening Canada with unforeseen tariffs that are going to really play havoc with some of our businesses, well, of course we're going to fight back. We're going to boycott American products. We're going to start using Canadian products as much as possible. And think about it, we have to. We have to keep our businesses and our industry alive. This economic war that the United States, by the direction of their president, has created single-handedly. And anyway, I don't want to get off on a tangent all about Trump, or we'll be here for hours. But I just wanted to touch base because I thought this whole fire, smoke, infiltration, and all the threats that are coming around about it are so ridiculous. People, give your head a shake, think it through before you talk. We're in this together. Let's find a solution together and work together, whether the fire is on the Canadian side of the border or the American side of the border. We can overcome this obstacle. Thank you. That's North of Opinion for tonight. Bye-bye now.
From coast to coast, through every view, a conversation carried through. Questions asked and stories told, looking ahead while honoring old. North of Opinion, a voice that's true, sharing ideas from my world to you.